right, so we have a question or a few questions from Michael. He's actually working on our free 7-day challenge, which helps you create your own 7-day challenge. You have all the templates free to set up your actual challenge where people interact and the templates to create your sign up and do the follow-up series, all that stuff. And he's working on that. So we had questions, and I think probably a lot of other people have these questions because we hear all these words like community, circle, etc. And like, what does that mean? So I hope this will give some clarity to it. And he also wanted to know which type of group is better set up than the other. So his question is, I'm confused about the differences between communities, circles, walls, long forum discussions, membership sites. Is a circle the overarching framework? What are the features that make one kind of group better than the other? Excellent question, right? We're going to talk about that. So let's start there. So there's a lot of words: circles, wall, blog, forum, discussions, membership site. Now, to try to untangle that is, let's just talk about communities and circles. And let's throw forum in there as well. So a forum, I think, is the full word for community. It used to be like, we call them message boards and stuff like that. And I don't see that word floating around much anymore, but it's basically a place where you can go, you post, everybody can post who's involved and interact with each other. The communities and circles are the same. I think communities is also a generic term for this whole idea. And circles seems to be a newer piece of terminology. I only heard that in the last year or a couple of years. And I mean, same thing. And sometimes circles can be part of a larger community. In the case of Noomu, I think your circles are independent things, but you can connect. You can make sure that all of your people have access to the various circles. So I don't know if that made it clear or not, but I think don't worry too much about the wording. When you're in Noomu, there is your circles is a blog. So Michael asked what a blog. A blog is quite different. And those are built into Noomu as well. And that's where you're posting, right? You're doing the posting and people are interacting. It's less of a community. It can have a community feel as well. But that's where you control the conversation more than in a circle where other people are interacting. Of course, in circles, you can actually make it so people can't post. So you use the circle platform inside Noomu to create sort of a blog and then be added the working element to it. And then discussion, I don't know where that's probably the same people just call things different. And when you're thinking about the membership sites, that could be anything too. So the membership site could be something that is a course. We log into a course, and you can use the circle platform in Noomu to create your course, drip feed them or schedule the lessons to appear in the circle feature. You can also make it so they have to complete a lesson before they can access other lessons. Or your membership can then give them access to other stuff. It can be downloaded, but it have to be done within a circle. Well, I think membership site is something that we use and online business owners that we're creating. We can rethink of that. It could be a free membership site. Just anything that someone has to sign up for to get access to, or pay for access, which is probably the most common. And you can do that no matter what you do. You can pay or make people sign up the content. And as far as what makes one group better than another, it really depends on what you're trying to accomplish. And you have to realize too that creating activity or even getting a blog that gets read regularly and interacted with is a challenge, right? We are competing with the social media platforms. We're even competing with Netflix. People have so many options of what to do on. You're asking them to come back to your website when they may normally check in Facebook or Twitter or something like that, or X, whatever we're supposed to call it these days. So you have to have something that stands out, right? So it has to be something valuable. And if you're helping solve problems and you're giving them tools, that can be part of a membership, something they're going to download that they need in order to accomplish what their goals are. And in the 7-day challenge, we do talk about engaging your and keeping them involved. And you can use things like email reminders and reasons to come back to that. And let's watch that lesson on per half step, I think. But it's about engaging and running your challenge. That's the one that you want to check out. It'll give you some ideas for that because that's what you want to do. And actually, Michael has a great question about emailing because you have some spams, right? You can email people each day. If you're going to feed your challenge or your force content, whatever it is that you're providing, you can send an email each day. But he also asked if you decide to make your challenge be where they have to complete the first step 1 or day 1 before they see day 2, that's also built into our template. Like when they complete that step, that can be done through the automations. And I'm going to do a tutorial on that. You'll be able to see how that's done. And then the other question that he had on a tutorial, which builds on this too, is he says that he wanted to have his challenge. And again, this can apply to a course. It doesn't have to just apply to a challenge. So he wants everybody to see the welcome page. That's how we set up a 7-day challenge template. Anybody can see it. And then in order to see the next step, they have to mark the first step as complete, and then they go in. But he also wants to add an extra element to that. He wants to know that he can put up a paywall. People have to pay to see the next content. You would have to have something really compelling, something that they want, perhaps some templates, tool that are really going to save them time, save them money, make them money, something, right? You got to make sure it's very compelling. You can't just put up a paywall and people are going to pay for it. But yes, possible with the new circle feature. So maybe to wrap up that Michael's question about what makes one group better than the other, in this case, the circles have a lot more features that you can use to keep them engaged, have them coming back just the way it's built. So I'm going to do the next video on screen and show you some of that stuff. So hope that was helpful and clarifies it instead of being like, whoa, that's too, because don't worry about the terminology. Just focus on what you want to accomplish. And of course, if you're using Noomu, we're here to help. If you're in the 7-day challenge, there is room for questions the whole way through. You've also, whenever you're in your builder, you have a little help button in the corner. You can reach our support there. And also we have our weekly live support sessions where we do stuff on screen and can help you troubleshoot stuff on your own site, show you how it's done on screen. It's a really valuable way to dig in. And it's that we stay for an hour, so we answer whenever you have, right? One question often leads to another. It also gives us a chance to clarify and go deeper into the questions you're asking. So definitely sign up for some of those. I will put links to those options for you below the video. So thanks for listening in, and I hope it inspired you to create some really great content on your website.